This is a craft of alien origin, and the implications, obviously, for humanity would be profound.
The third object from interstellar space will be 100 times bigger than the previous two, and we won't see anything in between. Solid object, it needs to be 20 kilometers in diameter. That's bigger than Manhattan Island.
Something impossible has just entered our solar system. On September 12, 2025, astronomers detected a glowing streak in the sky. It's 100x bigger and brighter than 3IATLAS, and it's so massive that its tail stretched wider than 5 full moons placed side by side. At first they thought it was just another comet, but the more they observed, the stranger it became. This mysterious visitor has been officially named C-2025 R2 Swan. And here's the twist, it's not alone, because at the same time, another interstellar traveler, known as 3IATLAS, is also racing toward the Sun from the opposite direction. Before we continue with this space mystery, please subscribe and like the video. It'll really helps the algorithm reach more people who are fascinated by space updates, mysteries, and discoveries. Now, the two cosmic objects, arriving in the same month, both displaying strange and unnatural behavior. The chances of such a coincidence? Almost zero. Scientists now face a chilling question. Are these really comets, or something far more engineered? What makes this event so shocking is the timing. Swan R2 will swing closest to the Sun on October 28, 2025. 3IATLAS will make its own close pass just days earlier, on October 17, 2025. The gap between them is only 11 days. In cosmic terms, this is like two bullets fired from opposite ends of the galaxy, arriving at the same target almost simultaneously. And here's where it gets even stranger. From October 8 to October 18th, Earth won't be able to observe either of them clearly, because both will be lost in the blinding glare of the Sun. So, when the most important events are unfolding, humanity will be watching blind. A coincidence? Or a cover-up? Because while these objects are being called comets, their signatures don't match any comet we've ever seen before. One seems to carry the power of a nuclear reactor, while the other appears to be wrapped in a glowing plasma shield. Something is happening in our skies, and the whole world might be kept in the dark. When astronomers first studied 3IATLAS, they expected to see a frozen ball of ice and rock. But instead, they found something impossible. Its body was made almost entirely of nickel with no trace of iron. In nature, this combination simply does not exist. But in advanced industry, nickel alloys are common, strong, durable, and resistant to heat. This was the first red flag. 3IATLAS didn't look natural at all. Then came the second shock. Instruments detected a 10 gigawatt nuclear core inside the object. That's nearly 50 times more powerful than Chernobyl. A comet with a nuclear reactor? That alone challenges every scientific explanation. And yet, there was more. Normally, a comet's tail is formed by ice melting under sunlight, releasing gas in chaotic plumes. But the tail of 3IATLAS behaved differently. It released a steady, narrow jet of carbon dioxide, almost like engine exhaust. At one point, the tail even shifted color from red to green at the exact moment its orbit changed. Scientists called this behavior thrust mix modulation, as if the object was adjusting its own engines to control direction. So what was 3IATLAS? A comet? A probe? Or a machine disguised as a comet? And just when the world was still reeling from these discoveries, the second object arrived, Swan R2. If 3IATLAS was a drone, then Swan R2 looked like a fortress. Spectroscopic scans revealed a silver plasma shield around its body, not just passive protection, but an active electromagnetic barrier, bending solar wind and deflecting radiation. Its tail stretched across the sky, 5 full moons wide, nearly 100 times larger than that of 3IATLAS. But the true shock came from its core. While 3IATLAS carried a 10 gigawatt reactor, Swan R2 outputs over 10,000 gigawatts every second. That's energy on the scale of colliding black holes, somehow contained inside a single machine. The conclusion was unavoidable. 3IATLAS was only the scout. Swan R2 is the fortress. Swan R2 is not just massive, it follows a cycle that is even more terrifying. Its orbit around the Sun takes 22,554 years. Think about that for a moment. The last time Swan passed through the inner solar system, the world was in the last ice age. Glaciers covered half of North America and Europe. Human beings were still living in caves, carving symbols into stone. And yet, Swan returned. This raises the question, why does it come back every 22,554 years? Some scientists believe it's just coincidence, but others point to evidence in ancient records. In Greenland's ice cores, layers of dust appear exactly at intervals that could match bright comets passing close to Earth. In Turkey's Göbekli Tepe, a 12,000-year-old temple, carvings on stone pillars seem to represent objects in the sky with long, sweeping tails. Could this site, older than the pyramids, be a memory of Swan's last visit? The possibility is chilling. If the Swan has been coming for hundreds of thousands of years, then our ancestors may have seen it too, and left warnings carved in stone. Now combine this with the strange timing of 2025. Two engineered objects, 3IATLAS and Swan R2, arriving within days of each other, both crossing the sun at nearly the same distance, both hidden from Earth's view during the critical window when they are closest. Astronomers call this alignment a cosmic corridor, a narrow zone of space and time where two objects converge. The odds of such a coincidence are almost zero, which leaves us with a haunting thought. This is not a coincidence. This is coordination, but coordination for what? Some propose a refueling mission, both objects using the sun's magnetic fields as a giant energy station. Others think it could be an audit chain, with each arrival acting as a probe sent after Earth began transmitting radio signals a century ago. And then there's the darker theory that Swan is not here to recharge, but to supervise, recover, or even neutralize 3IATLAS. When scientists compared 3IATLAS and Swan R2, one thing became clear. They were not the same type of object. They looked like they were built for different purposes. 3IATLAS behaved like a scout. It was smaller, faster, and strangely agile. Its sudden accelerations, its CO2 exhaust patterns, and its color-shifting tail suggested an object designed to move quickly and adapt. If it were a probe, its job might be to gather intelligence, map trajectories, or transmit data back to whoever sent it. But Swan R2 was a completely different beast. Where Atlas darted like a drone, Swan loomed like a battleship. Its plasma shield, its nickel-cobalt reflective hull, and its staggering 10,000 gigawatt output all point to a structure made for endurance and protection. This was not a fragile iceball comet. This was something that could survive close passes by the sun without breaking apart. In astronomy forums, a phrase began circulating: Atlas scouts, Swan commands. If true, then their joint arrival in 2025 might not be random at all. It could be a mission sequence. Consider this timeline. 2017, Oumuamua passes through the solar system, the first known interstellar visitor. No tail, no gas, just a silent flyby. Some now suspect it was the first probe. 2020s, 3IATLAS enters, showing signs of propulsion and engineered design. A drone or scout, possibly to gather information. 2025, Swan R2 follows, enormous, shielded, and armed with staggering power. The Fortress, arriving to oversee or support the scout. This chain suggests escalation, from silent observer to mobile probe to something like a command ship. The deeper question is not just what they are, but why now? Why, after billions of years of silence, do we suddenly see a sequence of interstellar visitors, each more advanced than the last? Why do they arrive exactly during the years when Earth's telescopes are blinded by the sun at perihelion? It doesn't look like coincidence, it looks like planning. And if there is planning, then there is a mission. If 3IATLAS is the scout and Swan R2 the fortress, then one question dominates the debate. Why are they here? Astronomers and theorists have offered three main possibilities. Theory 1. Refueling at the sun. On Earth, spacecraft often perform gravitational assists around planets to gain speed or energy. What if these objects are doing the same, but on a much larger scale? The sun is the most powerful energy source in the solar system. Its magnetic fields and plasma flows could act like a cosmic charging station. Swan and Atlas might be engineered to dip close, recharge their power reserves, or even upload and download data. In this theory, the sun is not just a star. It's the beacon and the pit stop. Theory 2. Recovery or intervention. Some scientists argue that 3IATLAS behaves strangely, as if it were damaged or malfunctioning. Its erratic thrust, pulses, and color-shifting exhaust could be signs of a probe that has lost stability. If that's true, then Swan's arrival may not be coincidence. It could be a rescue mission. The fortress-like design of Swan makes sense if its job is to recover, repair, or possibly neutralize the scout. Think of Atlas as a drone gone rogue, and Swan as the mothership sent to deal with it. Theory 3, a confrontation or rendezvous. The most unsettling theory is that Swan and Atlas are not allies at all. Instead, they could belong to two rival factions, meeting at the sun for reasons we cannot yet understand. If so, then the 10 gigawatt Scout and the 10,000 gigawatt Fortress might be preparing for a cosmic showdown, right inside our solar system. Whatever the truth, one fact remains impossible to ignore. The timing, geometry, and blackout window all align too perfectly. This is not random. This looks like a mission in progress. The story of interstellar visitors doesn't start with Swan R2. It began in 2017, when Oumuamua first startled astronomers. Oumuamua arrived as a fast, elongated object, moving on a hyperbolic path that clearly indicated an interstellar origin. Its trajectory, speed, and unusual acceleration sparked theories that it might not be just a natural asteroid or comet. Some scientists suggested it could be a probe or scout, silently passing through the solar system, leaving us clues we barely understood. Fast forward to 2025. Atlas appeared from a completely different corner of the sky. Unlike Oumuamua, Atlas displayed odd chemistry, including high nickel content and stepwise tail accelerations. Observers noticed 3 distinct pulses in brightness and tail direction, almost like pre-programmed signals. Some theorists proposed a bold idea. What if Atlas was a second probe sent to verify or audit Earth's activities since Oumuamua's arrival? In this theory, the solar system isn't just a random stop. It's being monitored systematically, each object arriving with a specific mission. Then came Swan R2, the fortress-like giant. With its metallic core, rhythmic tail pulses, and massive energy output, Swan dwarfs both Oumuamua and Atlas. Could this be the final stage of the audit chain? Some researchers suggest a progressive sequence. Oumuamua. Initial observation of Earth's capabilities. 3IATLAS. Secondary check, more detailed scanning, and testing response patterns. Swan R2. Final evaluation, with the power to act, intervene, or perhaps even communicate. The implications are staggering. If this sequence is intentional, it suggests that civilizations elsewhere have been watching, assessing, and interacting with our planet, possibly for decades. Why now? The timing of Swan and Atlas coinciding in the same solar corridor is too precise to be random. A window when Earth-based telescopes are blinded by the sun further strengthens the theory. Perhaps these objects are designed to operate unseen, carrying out a mission while humanity can only watch from a distance. While astronomers track Swan R2 and 3IATLAS in real time, some researchers turn to the past for clues. Located in southeastern Turkey, Göbekli Tepe is one of the oldest human-built sites known to science. Stone pillars rise from the ground, carved with animals, abstract symbols, and spirals. What catches the eye of cosmic theorists is that some carvings might represent celestial events, not just earthly life. Certain pillars appear to depict paths of objects in the sky, potentially comets or other long-period visitors. Could ancient humans have recorded the return of objects like Swan R2? The site dates back to roughly 11,000 years ago, around the end of the last ice age, when massive climate changes and comet activity may have impacted Earth. Swan R2's orbit, estimated at 2,254 years, is long enough to reach deep into prehistory. If such an object passed near Earth in the past, it could have left astronomical markers, legends, or even ritualistic alignments. Göbekli Tepe's layout may hint at observations of sky cycles far longer than a human lifetime. Some pillars align with specific constellations or celestial events, suggesting that early civilizations were tracking periodic visitors. The hypothesis is intriguing. Each return of a long-period object might have been noticed, recorded, and mythologized. Over generations, these events could be remembered as rituals, symbols, or stories about the sky. Could Swan R2 and similar objects be part of a cosmic timetable, intersecting human history at critical moments? Its arrival in 2025 might be more than coincidence. Perhaps it's the latest chapter in an ancient cycle. By studying ancient structures alongside modern astronomical data, scientists can ask questions that span millennia. Were early humans aware of interstellar visitors? Did these objects inspire myths, alignments, or even early astronomy? And now, with Swan R2 and 3IATLAS, are we witnessing a return that was recorded long ago? The evidence remains fragmented and interpretative, but the connections spark curiosity and wonder. If true, Humanity may be standing at the crossroads of a cosmic story that began thousands of years ago. By now, astronomers are calling Swan R2 the fortress of the solar system. Swan R2 isn't just visible, it dwarfs most comets ever recorded. Its tail stretches up to 2 degrees across the sky, about 5 times the width of a full moon, and pulses with rhythmic microthrusts. These tiny bursts shift the tail's direction, almost like course adjustments by a pilot, rather than simple solar heating. Calculations suggest Swan R2 emits roughly 10,000 gigawatts of energy, more than Earth's entire power grid. For comparison, most comets are millions of times weaker. This enormous energy suggests an internal mechanism beyond known comet physics, prompting scientists to ask, could this be a naturally occurring object, or is it engineered for a mission? Spectroscopic analysis shows Swan's core reflects light in a metallic pattern, possibly nickel-cobalt alloys, which are unusual for comets. Some theorists suggest this could indicate armoring or shielding, allowing the object to resist solar heating and debris impacts. Observers report a persistent silvery halo around Swan's nucleus. This halo changes intensity and shape almost like a plasma envelope or electromagnetic shield. Could it be a protective layer, deflecting charged particles and cosmic debris? This has led astronomers to nickname it the Fortress, a slow, steady object designed to endure extreme conditions. Photometric studies reveal tiny brightness variations in the tail, synchronized with micro-thrust pulses. Unlike typical comets, these stepwise accelerations suggest controlled maneuvers, not random outgassing. The patterns repeat with remarkable regularity, hinting at precision guidance or automated adjustments. Swan R2's characteristics, massive energy, shielding, tail modulation, and metallic composition raise a profound question. Is this simply a natural visitor, or could it be a probe or vessel with a long-term mission? If it is engineered, its 2,254-year orbit suggests a trajectory set long before human civilization, now intersecting Earth's observation window at an extraordinary moment alongside 3IATLAS. The timing, energy, and structure all combine to make Swan R2 the most enigmatic object in living memory, challenging astronomers to rethink the rules of cometary physics. As we watch Swan R2 and 3IATLAS carve their paths through the solar system, one thing becomes clear. These are not ordinary comets. Two massive objects arriving nearly together from opposite corners of the sky with perihelion points only 50 million kilometers apart is extraordinary. The geometry and timing create a narrow corridor where both objects occupy the same space in space and time during a solar blackout period. The odds of this happening by chance are vanishingly small. 3IATLAS shows stepwise accelerations, high CO2 emissions, and a nickel-dominated composition, while Swan R2 dazzles with metal. As we watch Swan R2 and 3IATLAS carve their paths through the solar system, one thing becomes clear. These are not ordinary comets. Two massive objects arriving nearly together from opposite corners of the sky, with perihelion points only 50 million kilometers apart, is extraordinary. The geometry and timing create a narrow corridor where both objects occupy the same space in space and time during a solar blackout period. The odds of this happening by chance are vanishingly small, raising questions about hidden links or engineered missions. 3IATLAS shows stepwise accelerations, high CO2 emissions, and a nickel-dominated composition, while Swan R2 dazzles with metallic reflectance, immense energy output, and a protective halo. Both objects exhibit behavior that defies conventional comet physics, suggesting controlled motion or internal mechanisms far beyond natural expectations. Some scientists propose solar flybys for energy recharge or data exchange. Others suggest interstellar probes on missions that may have been ongoing for millennia. A more speculative idea links these arrivals to ancient comet cycles, perhaps even encoded in human history, like the Göbekli Tepe pillars, hinting that Swan R2 may have passed Earth thousands of years ago. Whatever the explanation, the combination of timing, composition, energy, and behavior makes both objects the most compelling celestial mysteries in living memory. The inner solar system is no longer just a stage for planets and asteroids. With Swan R2 and 3IATLAS, it has become a cosmic puzzle, challenging astronomers to question everything we thought we knew. Could these objects be natural wonders, or are they engineered visitors with a mission we cannot yet understand? The answers may lie in the coming weeks as these celestial giants complete their closest approach to the Sun. If you're fascinated by Swan R2, 3IATLAS, and the mysteries of our solar system, like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts. What do you think these objects really are? Ancient comets or cosmic probes?